Hello and welcome to another MCO market update on Bitcoin. Yeah, the Bitcoin chart has not really done much today. Rather, the altcoins were moving in very interesting ways. There have been some really good setups, some really good movements, some aggressive movements. Bitcoin, however, hasn't really done much. That's okay. That's okay. It seems like this sideways consolidation with some slight upside here has been quite positive for the altcoin sector. I don't have a problem with that. I'm sure you don't have a problem with that. So yeah, Bitcoin is also allowed to let the altcoins take the lead here and there. And well, what can we say about Bitcoin? I mean, as you can see, with only sideways consolidation and up and down movement between the 94, you could say 94,200 level, that's an important resistance. We talked about that on the larger time frame in recent days and weeks, that this 94,200 level is here the start of our resistance box. Yeah, it didn't start lower. No, it started here at the golden ratio level and the price has reached it. That's the level we wanted the price to reach. And now it's simply consolidating below, right? Simply consolidation below that level. It's an important one. The golden ratio level is 61.8 retracement. A lot of that level has a lot of meaning. It's quite important. And very often prices reach this level and react in one way or another. So after quite a aggressive rally, after an upside breakout from our trend line here that started to develop in January, the price simply needed a little bit of time to rest. And we don't really see strong, let's say we don't really see a strong move down from there. There's no strong rejection. But we're obviously consolidating below that level. So it's slowed down. Price action is slowed down. Markets can't always go in one direction. There needs to be a little bit of consolidation, a bit of breathing in, breathing out, and that kind of resting will then allow the price to get the energy for the next move, ideally higher. So I don't see an end yet of this A wave. I would prefer it would stretch a little bit higher. We'll take a look at that on the smaller time frame in a minute. But what I shared also with members earlier today is that, look, the next fib level on the smaller time frame, I think it's like 95.5K. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. On the larger time frame, it's at 100,500. These are obviously a little bit more meaningful. So you can also see that the larger degree fib levels that we're tracking here have obviously led to, let's say, a temporary stop of the price increase. So it is quite meaningful. What is important, though, is to understand that the March high here from early March is located around $95,150. So it's possible that we just go a little bit higher and the price might see some resistance there. Just saying. So I didn't talk about that before. I looked at the chart again today. Sometimes you don't see everything. So always trying to go back to chart, look at it again. And yeah, I saw that March high quite obviously sitting there. And I thought, well, okay, we are holding just below Fibonacci resistance and also just below the March high. So there might be a reason why this is currently not, carrying on higher. And the golden ratio level, I mean, I'm using mainly fibs, but if it pushes a little higher, gets rejected, it could just be this March high. So just saying that. And looking at the smaller time frame here, the next upside Fibonacci levels, basically the next upside targets on the smaller time frame, 94,590 and then 95,000. That was reached already, but we're currently below that. That was already touched on the 23rd of April. Now, any higher from here could send the price to $95,444,000. That is the next level. If we break above the Wednesday high, and then $96,450. Now, I would like to see one of these levels actually reached in the fifth wave. That would be ideal. Just the next set of Fibonacci levels, that's the fifth wave. And I don't, as per previous updates, I don't assume yet that a top has formed. Of course, it's possible. Technically, the move up has reached a key technical level, but structurally, I can make a case for one more high. I can make a case for one more high because the pullback so far is only in 3 waves, which means it's a corrective pullback. It leaves the door open for higher. As long as pullbacks are in 3-wave movements, the uptrend that's already unfolding can continue. We're also holding above Fibonacci support. Mentioned to you before that the $90,438 level, that is the 50% retracement, and that level is an initial top signal. So that means if we break below it, it's an early signal that the market has actually formed a price top. So that would be a top probably in the third wave, or not this third wave, but then we have to assume, okay, the larger degree third wave has probably already topped maybe a little bit earlier than expected then. That would be, probabilities for that would increase if the market breaks below the so-called initial top signal level. That would be further confirmed with a break below the golden ratio. Again, here we have it again, the 61.8 retracement at 89,474. So, and then if we see a break below that level, then again it's further confirmed and the focus will shift to the larger degree fourth wave. Because as I said, if we have an early top signal, probabilities increase that we don't get that one more high that I would actually like to see, and that we are heading to the fourth wave, larger degree, more directly. In that case, then, support is already on the chart between $86,330 and $81,660. So these are the levels that we can then watch should the market go down any lower, break below upper support, and then the focus will shift to this area. As long as we're holding 81,660, I'm going to watch for one more high to complete white wave A. That's basically how it works. I don't really have a very, very clear read of the nanostructure here that's currently unfolding to the upside. Really, there's not much clarity there of that nanostructure. So I can make a case for maybe a reset of wave 4, but the nanostructure here, as I said, it's not very clear. So it's also not so important which pathway it's taking because we don't know yet. All I can say is we have a clearly defined support area, and as long as the market holds above the early top signal level, there's no sign that a top is in, and I would prefer one more high. So that gives you very clearly the level that must hold for me to keep focusing on higher prices more directly. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. You'll find a link to those channels in the description. For example, on X, you'll get a lot of additional Elliott Wave content, short-term updates. Definitely not as many as in our gold membership, but if you want to get a taste of how this works and get some additional updates, feel free to check it out. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.